BROtocol Joe.
Today we're going to be talking about RAID. Understanding RAID: speed, redundancy, striping, mirroring, and parity. But before we talk about any RAID types, we need to clear up one major misconception. And it's right here. RAID is not a backup. RAID is not a backup. If you accidentally delete a file, RAID will not restore it. If ransomware encrypts your system, RAID will not save your data. RAID only protects against drive failure. You should always have separate backups of important data. One more time, RAID is not a backup. So before we get into RAID, now that you've seen my beautiful face, let's get some learning going. RAID. RAID stands for the Redundant Array of Independent Disk. Instead of storing data on one drive, for instance, if we're storing all of our data on drive 0, what RAID does is it combines multiple physical drives into one storage system. So instead of just having disk 0, we also have disk 1 and disk 2. So if you had a RAID setup, these combined would be your RAID array, multiple drives, but your computer, your operating system, thinks it's just one hard drive. RAID systems are designed to improve two main things. The first thing is speed. The second thing they're designed to help with is redundancy. So when I say speed, speed refers to how quickly data can be read and written to storage. It means faster read-write as well. You have multiple drives working at the same time. With that, you have increased speed. And also, you have increased performance. So with speed, faster read-write, multiple drives like these three, they're working together, which inherently increases performance. Now, let's move on to redundancy. Redundancy means having extra data protection. So, why is that important? Because if a drive fails, let's say this drive fails, the system may still be able to access or rebuild the data using copies or recovery information stored across the drives we have here in our RAID array. Now, I'm not going to be going over the different RAID arrays because I think it's important for you to understand a general description of RAID before my other videos go into the different types of RAID. So, redundancy helps protect against hardware failure. So redundancy, you have data protection. Also, you can survive drive failures. Now, depending on what RAID you use, depending on how many hard drives you use, will determine how many drives you can withstand losing in your RAID array and keeping all of your data there. Also, what RAID redundancy does is it makes extra copies and recovery. So it protects your data. You can survive drives, extra copies for recovery. So we have speed and we have redundancy. So now the three core RAID concepts. We have striping, we have mirroring, and we have parity. So we're going to start off with striping. What striping does is it splits data into pieces and spreads them across multiple drives. Now, I'm not going to get into specifics with these drives we have, but let's say you have data here on drive 0, you would stripe it to data on disk 1, stripe it the data on disk 2. So it stripes the data so that multiple hard drives can read and write with higher speeds. Striping improves a couple of things. Obviously, speed means higher performance. And you have more storage ability when you use striping. Now mirroring. Let's not make it more complicated than it sounds. Mirroring duplicates data across 2 drives. So a striping stripe the data across all 3 drives. What mirroring does is it takes, let's say, data block 2A here, and it makes a copy of data block 2A there. So the information on disk 0 and the information on disk 1 is mirrored. So mirroring, looking at speed and redundancy, it duplicates data. Which means it is the exact copy of another drive. So, based on speed and based on redundancy, mirroring helps with redundancy. Striping helps with speed. So, striping helps with speed and mirroring helps with redundancy. So, now the last main RAID concept is called parity. So, parity provides a way to rebuild lost data. So, it can rebuild lost data. And you might think, well, hey, how does it rebuild lost data? The way I like to describe it to my students, I'm no artist. Think of it as a puzzle piece. Ooh, that's a terrible puzzle piece. But think of parity as a puzzle piece. If one piece, you have this whole puzzle right here, and you are missing whatever goofball puzzle piece that is there. If you're missing that puzzle piece, parity is that puzzle piece, and it can fill in the spaces so that it completes the puzzle. So, parity, it can rebuild lost data. Think of it as a puzzle piece. So, I'm not going to get into the weeds with parity, but as long as you can remember after this video that parity is like a puzzle piece, when I go over the different RAID types that have parity, you will be ahead of the ball game. So, in summary, this is a surface level RAID 101 introduction. So remember, RAID, it is built for speed and it is built for redundancy. It takes multiple drives like disk 0, disk 1, and disk 2, and the operating system thinks it is one hard drive. Main 3 core concepts are striping, which increases speed, mirroring, which increases redundancy, and parity, the good old puzzle piece. Last thing, do not confuse RAID with a backup. If you delete a file, RAID won't save you. If your information gets hacked, RAID will not save you. Every RAID level is just a different combination of these ideas. RAID 101, every RAID level is just a different combination of these ideas. Last thing, don't forget, RAID is not a backup.